Hey everybody, it's Bust with Battles with Bust number 318, and today we're doing battle with Quinn Gwen. And so Gwen and Gwen and Demacia have had a bit of a storied past. They've always played nicely together since the release of Gwen, but they've never really been a top tier deck. And so they always kind of played second fiddle to the Noxus decks. And so with the initial release of Gwen, people were like, oh snap, there's this infinite combo, right? You can use the Eternal Dancers paired off with the Ruined Reckoner, Relentless Reckoner, whichever Reckoner generates the free attack spell. And then if your Eternal Dancers are resummoning that unit, you get the free attack, you get into this infinite cycle and win the game. And so initially people were using Gwen with Noxus. Very powerful. It was one of the stronger decks in the game. But at that same time, that's back when the rallies weren't completely nerfed, and you could use the scout token generator to a little bit of effect with Gwen. Attacking with Gwen multiple times gives you the multiple snips, and attacking multiple times with Hallowed gives you kind of double bonuses, right? So if we make one attack with a Hallowed unit, it gets like +5 attack, then we get to attack again, we get double usage out of that Hallowed bonus. And so that was what you were looking to do with Demacia, but it was never quite as strong as what you were doing with Noxus. Then a little bit down the road, the Opulent Foyer was printed, has the special text on it that when you gain the attack token, you get to summon a Ghastly Band. And so if you're playing fair decks, then you just get a free unit whenever your normal attack token starts, but you can be a little bit more clever than that. The main focus that saw play with the Opulent Foyer was the addition of Katarina and her rallies, giving you fresh attack tokens, summoning multiple Ghastly Bands. But Katarina has since been nerfed, and now people are looking to go back to the scout path in terms of using Gwen and the Opulent Foyers. And so that's what this deck at its core is trying to do. It is trying to best take advantage of the Opulent Foyer. I know that Gwen and Eternal Dancers are in the deck, but you really need to get in your head that this is an Opulent Foyer based deck, and this is where your big combos come from. And so, outside of the foyer, we do have a pretty big hallowed shell. We have the host, the butler, the redeemer, the eternal dancers, and Gwen. Those are going to help us start to ramp up our hallowed abilities, but then after that, we're looking to take advantage of the scout units. And so the scout units, if you're not familiar, you make an attack with a scout unit. That gives you an attack token back. That gives us the additional unit with the Opulent Foyer. We can also look to say if it's our opponent's attack token, we can Cataclysm on one of our scout units. That will give us the attack token back, and then we'll have the additional usage of the Opulent Foyer. And then the more standard and easy way to get the attack tokens back, the Relentless Pursuit. And so that's basically all the things this deck is trying to chain together. We have this really nice hallowed core. At the core of the hallowed core is the Opulent Foyer, and then we're trying to take advantage of the Opulent Foyer with scout units between the Blinding Assault and the Quinn, then using the Cataclysms and Relentless Pursuits to give us those additional attack tokens. Outside of these minor combos, do have just a small interactivity package with 2 copies of Ranger's Resolve, 1 Quietus, 2 Vile Feasts, and then we have the Harrowing in the event that the games go long. And so that's the deck. That's what we're doing battle with today. The pay-to-win price is all paid up on this thing. Every time you get these Demacia decks out here, we typically have all the cards, and we are ready to go. Let's see what turns up. All right, what you got for us, friend? Game's turning up. A little bit of Control Annie. Sure thing. And so, we definitely want to be keeping all of our hallowed units, our boisterous hosts and the like. I don't think there's much reason to hold onto a blinding assault. It's just going to immediately die as soon as it hits the board. But I will hang on to the Ranger's Resolve. This is a key card as we're going up to battle against Annie Ezreal. They just have a lot of 1 damage ping spells, and given the opportunity to stop a chain of 2 or 3 spells with a single Ranger's Resolve is exceptionally strong. But even if it's here just stopping 2 or 3 mana for 1 mana, it's a pretty good deal. All right, opponent coming at us with Ezreal. Don't find an additional unit to put on the board, but hopefully the boisterous host starts doing the work. If he comes at us with a 1 damage ping, we will play the Ranger's Resolve. It's not the most ideal thing, but we're probably going to find ourselves needing to Cataclysm this Annie next turn, because otherwise we just don't have anything to do. So we're going to be chaining away from the Cataclysm pretty quickly. Look at that, getting those 2 damages in. Oh. Good job, Boisterous Host. You're doing the work today. Doing the work. Nothing to play. Sad times. And so I don't have very big expectations for this Cataclysm to work, but we're at this stage of the game to where if we can get our opponent to have to start spending removal spells and not get in this space to where he can just bank up 3 mana, it's going to give us a little bit more success with our chain of big units that are coming up. So as we look into this next turn, if he wanted to, say, disintegrate our Gwen, now that he only has 4 mana, he needs a 2 mana burn spell to go along with it. So a little bit safer now that that's off the table, especially as we weren't expecting our Cataclysms to be successful. All right, how bad's it gonna be? Here comes a chain of stuff. Mystic Shot, Disintegrate. Okay. So we've got him down to 2 cards in hand. He's about to pop off with his Tibbers and stuff, but we'll try our best. I think this one's probably Dunzo's at this point. Sad day for Team Gwen. Alright, I don't think he'll just pass here. I think he's going to attack like all the time. The thing that is questionable is whether or not he's going to play the Mystic Shot. And I think there's like a pretty high probability that he just passes here, but I'm okay with the next turn if all we're going to do is play Eternal Dancers and Blinding Assault. Ooh, he goes for it. Okay. I mean, he's only got 2 cards in hand at this point. There's a very real chance that our Valor gets to take down Ezreal. Had to stop and look. We got this Quietus in hand as an option, but I think we want to lead off with the attack. We'll follow up with Quietus and then do the Eternal Dancers as our last card for the turn. Okay. Got him down to 2 cards in hand. See if old... Oh, he doesn't have the mana for old Tibbers anymore. Womp womp. Womp womp. Okay, not bad. Not a bad time to be doing some refills. But we'll get the Eternal Dancers on board. They'll be bringing back Gwen when they attack, so we got a pretty powerful attack for the round. Just be a matter of if we can get back around to another attack. I mean, if he wants to spend his next turn just playing Tybalak, then it leaves us in a pretty good space. Alright, Fam Jam. Let's see what we can do. The Foyer turns up. A little bit late. A little bit late. At least we've seen him play the 1 Caustic Rift, which is kind of nice, given that he's a little bit weaker in terms of being able to drop AoEs on our Ghastly Bands. Let's see what he does. Comes in with Lord Broadmane. Okay. A drum solo. Sure thing. So we'll be able to get the Foyer on the board. We can get the Blinding Assault down as well. Should be pretty safe. They can, of course, draw some cheap removal spells for this stuff, but if we're able to get the Foyer down this turn, get the Blinding Assault down next turn, open with the Blinding Assault into the Broadmain. It's going to give us the additional Foyer thing. We've got 3 Halloweds, 4 now at this point. Give us the stats we need to get old Dum Dum off of the board. Feels good. Let's get him. Let's take down old Dum Dum over here. Don't think we want to open attack, though, right? We could technically, say, put a bunch of stats onto Gwen, hook the Broadmain out of combat, but that feels like it's just asking to get blown up. We'll take a bit of a wider route here. Oh, Jesus. Sometimes you have it all. That was the card that was his draw for the turn. That was the leftmost card that just came out of his hand. Must feel good, my dude. Must feel good. It's how we want to handle this. We're going to go for a Relentless Pursuit. So let's just play the Foyer. It's going to give us a unit that he has to answer. We're up to 7 Hallowed now, so it's going to be a 9 attack unit. We'll see if it gets the opportunity to take down the Broadmain or... Oh, my God. Or how that's going to go. Come on, dude. All right. They've got this great sandwich in my favorite deli. It's called the Have It All sandwich. That's what we're getting served up for lunch here today. Just a wonderful, flavorful Have It All sandwich. Oh my God. Well, good job, I guess. Of course, why not have some more spells? Why not? Okay, makes sense. Oof. Alrighty, well. As they say, on occasion, kind of is what it is. Got a fresh Quinn bird, though. Give us the opportunity to come back here. We can face some of this damage, and so... See if we can't get an opportunity to come back. We can put the Vile Feast in front of the Lord Broadmain. He's only coming in for 10. Now that Annie's on board, we're going to be dead. Well, how much is this? 4, 7... let's see, it's 4, 8, 11, 12, 13. Okay. I'm going to say we can send our Spiderling into Tybalak with the Cataclysm, but it's going to be too short. Oof. All right. Well, I don't think that was quite a lottery ticket game. I don't want to suggest that was supremely lucky, but that was certainly a case of the Have It Alls. Just everything at the right moment at the right time. I would never do that. I would never just bring top decks onto an opponent like that. And so, on to the next one. Hang on to some of our cheap friends here. Got to worry a little bit with the likes of the Phantom Butlers up against the Bandle City version of Seraphine. They're going to have access to a lot of pokey stick kind of cards, but it's the way of the world, you know.
The party never ends, nor its spirits.
All right, what are the chances this guy's going to have the Caustic Rifts as well? I don't know if this is a deck that plays 1 copy or plays 3 copies, but I feel a little bit better with the Foyer coming in. Give us some of that recurring damage instead of being all in on, like if we drop a Boisterous Host and then a Redeemed Prodigy and he has the AoE, only getting to deal 2 damage for the turn feels kind of bad. Get a chance to take down this Victor, though. That would be pretty sweet. More than willing to invest all of these hosts in a hate spike and trying to take him down.
Welcome, one and all, to the Midnight Rebel! Always forward. You're wearing that. Yes, of course.
Boo. All right. I think that's a reasonable spot, a reasonable way to try and tackle the turn. Oh, Gwen turns up. It's kind of nice.
What is all this?
So,
Midnight Rebel. And so
let's see if we get an attack in now. Only a quicken. Interesting. Okay. I think we want to start keeping this mana back at this point. We'll see if he blocks, but I mean, if he's going to throw down a new removal spell onto one of our bros, then we at least have this opportunity to get the good hate spike in. RIP Victor. Okay. So we'll see how this upcoming turn goes. Like, the Hallowed Dancers at this point aren't super exciting, right? They're not bringing back any really fantastic units. They're just going to bring back a Phantom Butler. And so I'm kind of looking at this upcoming turn and thinking, well, what if we just play Gwen, we play the Butler, and then we'll have mana back if we want to hate spike? I think I'm pretty okay
So much to do.
with that sequence of stuff. Let's see if opponent has anything interesting here. Picking up Relentless Pursuit is kind of nice as well. Gets us really close to lethals. Uh-oh, he can block a Fearsome now. I see what you're doing. Okay. Ooh, now that we picked up Ranger's Resolve, I feel pretty good about not open attacking here. We'll get a full board along the way. The removal spells that you're going to see coming out of this deck are just a bunch of really small ping kind of things. So I think there's a really high chance for this Ranger's Resolve to be successful. Gotta watch yourself here. If he gets the Obliterate onto Gwen, then we won't be bringing her back with the Eternal Dancers. Signposts is kind of annoying one to have turn up, but it's not the end of the world. This is a pretty heavy investment from him into units that aren't that spectacular. So let's double check. Bringing back the 3-attack bro. Makes sense to me. Send him on in. All right. Nice little nugget of damage to the face. Now in this upcoming turn, paired with a Relentless Pursuit. Feeling pretty good, pretty strong. Oh, double Relentless Pursuit. It's like being back in the days playing some Poppy Tarek kind of stuff. you all remember those cards? Poppy Tarek, what a day, man. Taking that +1/+1 off the Relentless Pursuit just ended it all. All the signposts. Sure. It doesn't seem like a particularly spectacular play. I wonder if he's going to try and prank it out of our hand and then he's unaware that we have two. Alright, well, you're still getting blasted. No denying that. Gonna have like a wallop. Interesting. He's down to 2 mana now. The scary cards cost more than 2 mana. Like, he's not going to be able to kill our Eternal Dancers here. But I'm going to load up the damage onto our Fearsome. It's, you know, realistic that he's got a removal spell for it. Oh, Caustic Riff. Okay. Okay. Still got a really strong open attack next turn. Painful. Many pains coming in. Alright, let's try it again. What else can you do but try it again? That's all you can do. Only up to Hallowed 10 at this point. It's a nice place to be. He's got a stun and a removal. Ranger's Resolve won't do anything here. The question is, do we want to just start Vile Feasting, right? He's down to 4 mana at this point. I do kind of want to ensure that we have a target. All right, let's just go ahead and drop it. This will take away one of his actions as well, if we just go ahead and drop it now. It's going to be a little bit faster. He's down to 4 mana, so I don't think we have to worry about it a ton. But no reason to just give up on it, I think. And then he has the follow-up unit. Of course, it makes us look like a bunch of dum-dums out here playing the Vile Feast as soon as he plays Conchologist, but I think it's still okay. All right. The fresh unit was good enough. Ground him down. GG. Ooh. Enough of that dumb stuff. Maybe we can start playing against decks that don't have Caustic Rifts in it. Is that in our future? Ooh. And so, I want to say in terms of the channel and the things we're going to be doing in the upcoming days, if you're one of our daily followers, I think I'm going to kind of switch back and forth between Singleton and Constructed. And then we'll have the Runeterra Open here on the upcoming weekend. I'm looking to play both days of the Runeterra Open. I have the ability to, now that we have the 2 accounts, and so that's what I'm looking to do here for the rest of the week. I get that Singleton isn't a particularly popular format. Like the view count on Singleton really just kind of comes in and tanks. But I also kind of believe in the sense that if you want to have nice things, you have to put in the work for it. And I feel like if we don't come out here and play things like Singleton and whatever the rando gauntlet style event is, then it just kind of goes away. So the kind of life philosophy that I had, you know, growing up in West Virginia, where there literally wasn't a bunch of stuff to do, just a function of being in a small town, is that whenever something did turn up, you kind of had to go. Right, and so if you want the cool bands to turn up and play the local concert venue, then you got to go and watch an occasional one that you aren't super interested in, or just nobody will ever turn up. Or you want to go to the comedy show, maybe you have to go to an open mic night on occasion. You know that they all suck, whatever, but you got to put in a little bit of the work. And I feel very similarly about Runeterra in the sense that. You can't be like, oh, they don't have the format I want. Fuck Riot. You gotta give them that shot to have give them the shot to have things build up. All right, though, back to the battle here. In terms of the sequences in this game, I wanted to Quietus the Teemo on the first turn. It's a bit of a disaster if you have your Quietus get broken up by a removal spell. And so I wasn't super interested in that. And then as we look towards these following turns, it's a fairly easy Prodigy into Foyer. That's just a decent curve. With this turn, I was hoping that we would get a hook into Esmuth and then an attack. But with him having the Sparklefly, we just kind of got in and take care of it. We can't let that Sparklefly just come out here and run around. Now, interesting here, playing against elusives, we managed to spike the elusive Husk like a true champion does. we were complaining about our opponent's luck earlier. Now I don't think we're allowed to complain anymore. I think we've hit the we've hit the pendulum swing of luck, if you will, as we've hit some pretty good top decks and some pretty good rolls over these past couple of games. The pendulum of luck, if you will. All right, so I'm just going to drop Quinn. She's the biggest unit that we have here. If we get involved in combat with this and Quinn dies, I don't care. She's going to soak up just so many resources out of this opponent, and she also gives us the Valor for the next turn. So Sorry about all your LPs, rank number 2 guy, but you can't win them all, I guess. I don't think once you get up to that high at LP, it's sitting around 500. If it still does the plus 15 for win, minus 25 for loss. So I'm not entirely certain. That's one of the things that I wish that there was a bit of expansion on the ladder. Like, I'm completely fine with Riot expanding Masters, making it easier to hit Masters. Like, I think that's a pretty reasonable thing. I just kind of wish that... like whenever I play Battlegrounds for Hearthstone, it feels like the MMR system there is much more. I like it more. I'm not sure the exact terms to use with it, but I like the kind of everyone has their MMR thing, and you can just see where you sit, and you kind of have to put in the work to climb it up and get higher and higher. It just feels like within Runeterra, there's like 5,000 people at 0 LP Masters, and then there's like 50 people up with like a reasonable amount of LP, and then there's just nothing in between. And I feel like that that Battleground system fits in there a little bit better.
A little reinforcement at the seams.
All right, I was talking. Did we forget to attack last turn? I feel like we did. we deserve to be down in that 0 MMR dumpster if we're just gonna forget to attack on the rounds. We most certainly should have sent our unit towards the Durandi Sculptor, but I was paying little to no attention. But at least for this turn here, getting the Foyer on the board is quite good. Gives us a reasonable set of blockers for this upcoming turn. Not the greatest of blocks here, but things are going to look much better once we drop Gwen next turn. Have the Foyer token getting the extra Halloweds. Going to be much stronger.
What a strange, wonderful world.
You finished the
All right.
already?
Time for battles. Many strength. Such strong units coming through. Nobody wants to block the Foyer token. A hate spike into Gwen. Drops her to 1 health. Okay. I'll take the bait on it. It doesn't entirely feel worthwhile for a Ranger's Resolve. Like, you can see that his game plan is going to just be sending the Fleet Feather Tracker into Gwen. But I think at this point, I'm a little bit more interested in just switching over to Quinn. Now it definitely feels a little bit better picking up the Eternal Dancers. We should just be blasting through this game at this point. These Quinn birds are so good against Evelyn and being able to come in and pick off all these little husks. Now it's like, he could play Steam, I guess. He doesn't have Evelyn. If he had Evelyn, he would have played her. But a lot of the units he wants to play just generate additional husks. And being able to pick those off is quite nice. Where are we at? We're at 4 Hallowed Deaths, so we can just come in and kill Lucian if we want. I don't think we really need to. He's close to flipping, but I think our turn is still exceptionally good. All right, we're going to hook in Dum Dum here. Bird gets to be quite large. Sharp sight. This is what Ranger's Resolve was built for. It says, "Oh no, bust. Oh no, bust. You boomed me real good." That's the 3rd one for Lucian. Not a big deal. Now I'm leaning towards the Hallowed Dancers, and then if we want to Cataclysm, we can Cataclysm next turn. Even if we end up losing our Valor here, we can Cataclysm off of Quinn. I think that should be enough. Now the kind of awkward moment we run into here is we want to put the Hallowed Dancers over to the left so that they bring back Quinn, or Gwen, but... Alright, see, doing it this way, this still brings back Gwen, right? it does. But we just don't want the token on our bird. It's going to flip his Lucian, but I think this is still okay. Right, he's going to put a blocker in front of the band dies, Lucian sees it, goes up to 4, but he's not going to get a rally out of it. He needs another card to get a rally, and even if he does, it's not a scary board. I think this game should be done. Okay. Sinner! You gotta say it. You gotta say it whenever he flips. Oh shit, why didn't he die? What did I miss on that? Our bird had 6 attack. What did he do? What'd you do, Lucian? Oh boy. Oh boy, shit just got real. Why didn't our bird kill Lucian though? It was a 6 attack bird going into a 2 health Lucian. Did he... You don't get to double attack on defense, right? And he's got damage on him? I don't know. I'm gonna have to pull that one back up. Interesting. Alright, well if I put Quinn in front of Lucian, does he die? He does. Man. What went wrong? We just dead to an open now? 5, 6, 7, 8. He's currently 1 short. So if we get to pull off a Cataclysm, we'll get Gwen back, and Gwen will hit him with the snip snip. 5, 6, 7, 8. 1 short, right? Alright, well we'll send the dancers into Salter since it doesn't die. Oh, we got Gwen back. Or Quinn, not Gwen. F. It's still okay. I was expecting to just win the game, though. The preferred outcome. The preferred outcome, just win the game. Alright, and a Broadwing. I think we should more realistically just win the game now. A little bit of a slop fest from old Bust out here, but happens on occasion.
My goodness, what is all this?
The Midnight Revel coming forth. Alright, let's do it like this. Oh, was our Quinn flipped? That's kind of cool. It keeps showing that Valor down to the right, but we don't have the space for Valor? Is that what's happening? Alright, let's go for it and see. Oh, the Valor goes to our bench. That's what the deal was. I was thinking it was the attack version of Quinn, to where she's flipped and then summoning down the unit. Had that a little bit off, but still able to achieve the victory amidst the slop fest. I'm gonna pull that Lucian back up. I don't know what the deal with that was. I gotta see what I messed up there. Ah, okay. Okay, I looked. It was a 6 health Lucian, and then he flipped up to 7 health. That not on my radar whatsoever. I just assume Lucian always has 2. you just got to deal 2 here. It's all done. It's over. All right. Up against old rank 2 guy again. Let's see what we can do with this one. I'll hang on to the host and the hate spike. Give us a little bit of early interactivity for his elusives. Opulent Foyer is our big build around, so I'm always glad to have 1 copy of it. Didn't really want a second one, but We'll make the most of it.
We shall sing
Dropping emotes.
and forget our woes.
I've decided this is my new good game emote. I love to use that one in the cupcake, right? Cupcake is it's a premier emote. I'm a little upset I don't have Cupcake on my secondary account. I think that was an anniversary present or something that Riot passed out, and you know, we don't get the good stuff out of it. All right, well, let's try and start killing stuff. We'll get the bird down. We'll drop a foyer. See if we can't start to ramp up these haloads. This isn't a matchup to where the bird is ultra important. Like, the only unit that you can pick on and win is going to be Esmuth, and I feel like as long as we're able to just kill some elusive, then we'll be happy enough with it.
Nothing like the great outdoors.
Timo turning up. Says, look at all my stats, friend. So many stats on old Timo. Bringing the heat. All right, lacking in stuff to do on this turn, but these foyers should be pretty good starting on the next turn. All these big elusives coming at us. A little scary. A little scary. Now, I think the question is, we're going to have 2 foyer tokens. I think we only want to attack with 1, though. Right? And then we're going to have to start playing removal spells. Otherwise, we're just going to die next turn. Well, that doesn't make total sense. All right, let's send them both. As like eyeballing having a unit behind to use with a hate spike, but this doesn't feel like it's going to be enough without having those units down.
Anyone seen any sheep around here?
Right, because now we want to Cataclysm the Timo, but we need the we need the unit for it. Seeing Scout turn up is kind of nasty. No, I don't like how we've done this one with the Scout equipment turning up. Right, he just gets the free and easy blocks here, but then we don't have a good Cataclysm target for the next turn. Maybe we just don't have any units on board. Maybe we should have gotten the Redeemed Prodigy down. Right, because now he's in the spot to where he can just replay onto the Scout equipment onto the Winged Messenger, and we can't really do anything about it. He's just we're just dead to the Messenger as is. I don't like how we did that. I don't know if we could have gotten out of this turn. The way that you're wanting to have that sequence is on his next turn. You want him to Scout attack you with Timo, and then we're going to hate spike that Timo in the middle of combat to try and take that Scout attack away from them. But we didn't set ourselves up to having a unit on the board for the hate spike. I think the way that we should have gone about that was we just attacked with the 1 unit, left the second token behind, cataclysmed off the second token to try and kill something, and then played the Redeemed Prodigy. And then on the following turn, we could have tried to hate spike in the middle of combat so that he couldn't get those Scout kills on us. I didn't stop through to think that through well enough.
A brief engagement, but a joyous one.
Oh, the old Formidable's coming at us. But no, that's one of those spots where I feel like if I played 50 games of Hallowed Gwen, then I feel like we would have recognized it immediately. But with my more limited experience, it was wasn't something that just immediately hit me. But happy enough to come in here and make these early trades. Our units are getting better. He's not developing any board. I always kind of look at these situations up against something like Galio as to where, you know, you really want to have like 4 and 5 units on the board whenever you're going to play him. And so he doesn't have the opportunity to have his board grow. And then our strategy's still working where we're picking up these Halloweds. Don't think I'm quite ready to trade the bird in. The Petricite Broadwing isn't a real high-value target, and we're about to start popping off with some of this stuff. Foyer was a perfect draw. Did we slop that up? I wasn't considering the bird coming in and hooking our unit. It'll be okay. You'll have to do the work on your own, Gwen. Not a bad build up here with all the Cataclysms and the Dancers, so we should be able to, on this next turn, to Eternal Dancer's Cataclysm. Let's see, looks like he's about to do something nasty to Gwen. Something that we don't approve of. What does this guy do? I don't take damage from enemy spells or skills, so we can't hate spike it. Okay. That would have been a pretty good hate spike, right? If we were able to take him down to 1 formidable, and then the 1 formidable wouldn't win the fight against Gwen. I think it's still okay, though. Let's see where you get us, my friend. Somewhere special? No! That is not somewhere special. Alright, well, I guess we'll finally take our chance to delete this Broadwing, but this is not feeling good. Not feeling good. How much is this? 8? Let's just open. We need to get some kind of value out of these Cataclysms, and so he's got to eventually just play a bigger unit, right? And if he plays a big unit, we can Cataclysm. Otherwise, we can try and Cataclysm down this Petricite Charger. It should give us quite a bit of time. Okay. Glad to see the single combat hit there before we try and take this unit away. Nine attacker coming in. Get scared, my dude. Get scared. Be cool if this Boisterous Host had Overwhelm. Oh boy, more single combats. Okay. I guess it's not terrible. He's down to just 1 card at this point. He doesn't have lethals coming up, and we've got 8 Hallowed. And so we definitely have some opportunities here.
Let me guide you.
Blinding Assault was a pretty good draw. Assuming he doesn't have another removal spell for the bird, if we're able to get the challenge and then a rally. Try again to take down this dum-dum. Oh my gosh, he's got another one. Judgment. Okay. Okay. Whew.
Stay still.
All right. Well, we're at least going to have a token next turn. And we're guaranteed to have a lethal attack from it. Just need something more magical to turn up. Foyer wasn't it. We're just dead if he blocks with Soraka. What a bummer, man. Just every turn, every angle having the removal spells. Whew, okay. GG. It's tough seeing the Petricite Charger turn up when you're trying to find a useful hate spike. I've tried to dabble with the Petricite Charger. It has ability that sounds like it should be interesting, but it's not. it's not. It's not. It doesn't work out well enough to be good. All right, next battle though. If we were on the even attacks, I would have held onto our Gwen, but not getting her down until turn 5 is a bit meh. And so we sent her away. In terms of being up against darkness, I was going to say I want to be getting these redeemed prodigies on the board. This is a deck that tends to have a lot of ways to deal 1 damage. Right, so they're going to have pokey sticks, they're going to have group shots, they're going to have go hards, and then it's a deck that's good at dealing like big damage with a darkness. It's not very good at dealing with a 2 health unit, and so that was the card that should have given us the most opportunity to have multiple units on the board this turn. He had he just played the unit though, so I wanted to just trade away our 3/1. Redeemed Prodigy's a little bit stronger. Gwen's not very good here. Let's do this. Let's drop in the Prodigy. He can't... Well, he can Darkness, right? But we're not going to play Gwen on block. So this is fine. We can take a bunch of damage from him and not feel too bad about it. I'm going to look to get the bird down. We're not going to block with the bird. I'm just hoping he keeps his Dark Bulb Acolyte back since it will trade. And then next turn we're going to open attack with Valor so we get the extra Foyer tokens. Okay. All right, there's the start. Now, we do have a real question with this turn, in that do we want to actually get Gwen onto the board? Because next turn, we can look to, say, Cataclysm this Eternal Dancers, but I think our Gwen is probably good enough to just go ahead and drop down. He's a very respectable attack here. Blocks with everything? That's suspicious. He's not getting up to Ruination mana. Like, these decks sometimes play Ruination, but interesting. This is Vagar with the 3 damage darkness. Do we ever want to Cataclysm our Gwen in with this? I don't think so. I don't think it's necessary. We can try and get a good Cataclysm next turn with the Eternal Dancers if we need it. Such a cheap darkness, man. I was going to say, it's like, I wonder if there's going to be a Pokey Stick Darkness coming in. It's so cheap. Do we even want to open attack here? Having the second Eternal Dancers is reasonable. Now we hit the Blinding Assault, though. So I think we want to make sure we have Cataclysm mana back, but we should be able to fairly safely get the bird on board and then maybe follow up with the Boisterous Host. We're just not going to be playing the second Opulent Foyer this turn, if even this game. If this is like a vengeance onto the Eternal Dancers, that's okay. Do we even care at this point? Might as well. Love to see him just spend some more mana here instead of playing units. So if he wants to put another removal on top of the bird to try and counterspell, that would be great. No, double Relentless Pursuit. Don't mind if I do. Don't mind if I do. So he's out of vengeance range now. I feel pretty good just sending in the first hook with the Eternal Dancers. It's gonna survive this attack. It's gonna make it, and then we'll get to attack the second time. Put the Hallowed onto our Ghastly Band. Just gives us a much wider set of scary units. Oh, you don't get to attack now, dude. Sad day for you. Gets the backline stun onto our Ghastly Band. Ouchies. I think we're still in a pretty good shape this game with all these Relentless Pursuits in our hand, but kind of a bummer. Sometimes you just want to get out here and win the game, you know? I just want to come out here and attack and win, you know? That's not that big of an ask. Alright, so Eternal Dancer's taken out of our hand. Opponent's down below 6 mana again. So we should be in pretty good shape with these Eternal Dancers. Say, why are you group shotting? I don't get it. Alright though, not bad. Not bad. Jump on into this final battle, game number 8 coming at you. And that I was wanting to say, I went to grab a beer with the wife yesterday, and they had golf on the TV. I've been on this like interested in golf kick here recently because I just think there's such parallels between, excuse me, the competitive golf scene and the competitive card gaming scene. As odd as it does sound, it's a space to where you know, you're playing this kind of single player event. Like I get that in each game you're playing against opponents, right? But it's not a team sport, is what I mean with that. It's not like Patrick Mahomes out here carrying the rest of the team or LeBron James out here carrying the rest of the team. It's just you by yourself, one-on-one in that sense. But it's like the thing that surprises me so hard that I've never really been able to wrap my head around is the prize pools. And so it was just the players tournament, which would be the equivalent of Worlds in typical card gaming scenes. And I thought that the prize pool was bigger. Like the prize pool for that event was only a mere $25 million. But being such a small and selective event, that is a pretty big deal. Oh god, the game break? Trying to talk about golf, Riot. Get your shit together. Alright, we'll see. We'll see if our game's still here. I had to restart it. But no, the World of Golf is the $25 million for their Worlds event. I thought that was bigger than any esports competition ever, but it looks like some of the Dota 2 events kick around at like 40 million. And so it was bigger than that. But over the span of the year, come on. Alright, I think we're playing the game now. I bet opponent's not here. But over the span of the year, the golf payouts are in the hundreds of millions of dollars as compared to the uneventful stuff here. And again, I watched a Netflix documentary a couple weeks ago, and one of the things that really blew my mind with that documentary was one of the guys that they were following. He won back-to-back events, which is a pretty big deal. It feels like to me, in large part with the Golf Pro Tour, there is kind of like Worlds and the Pro Tours and the Grand Prix are all kind of meshed together into the same thing. And the Pro Tours would be called a major in golf. And this guy, he won back-to-back smaller tournaments for like $9 million. And people were like, well, that's not that good. He didn't win a major. He didn't win a big one. He only won one of these minor tier events. And I was just like, that's insane. I was like, this guy's prize in a single event was like double what they pay out in the entirety of a Magic Pro Tour. And people are like, yeah, it's not that big of a deal. It's not that good. Like, we're not impressed with you yet. You have to win one of these bigger events. And it's just so hard for me to wrap my head around, in the sense that that is considered a non-recognizable achievement. Like, you did so okay today, only winning like $4.5 million. It's just so tough for that kind of thing to come forth as you're trying to, play the competitive card game scene in that size of event. Just for first place just doesn't even exist, and it's so wild to hear and see. But nonetheless, that was our final battle. We're going to call it there. We could pull up the deck and talk about it a little bit more. And again, I think this deck is fine. It does carry a pretty positive win rate these days. And at the current state of the game, it is probably the best Hallowed deck that you can be taking forward. And so I don't see a lot of Katarinas running around anymore. I was never really impressed with, I think it was Mage and Bay that really started to push forward the triple Katarina, triple Foyer, triple Might deck, and you were putting together these turns to where you do have that like 15-1 attacking token, and then you can just hit it with the Might. I was never really impressed with that version of the deck, and this deck doesn't really fix any of that. It doesn't change any of that. It's just probably the most powerful thing you can do with the Foyer at this point, and then the Foyer does give you that longevity that the control decks don't really want to see, as to where your units are just so relevant for so long. And so it's tough. The things that I'm kind of curious about with this are, we're about to come up on rotation, and these cards are kind of new, and so I don't suspect it's ever going to get rotated. Well, not ever, at least not in this upcoming rotation. And so I think that this is a deck that if you want to learn it now, you're probably going to be pretty successful in the upcoming season when that rotation does happen. Right, this isn't a deck that's really tied in to a lot of the cards outside of the Hallowed theme. And so if you're able to say, okay, well, I want to get really good with Gwen and this collection of Hallowed cards, I think you'll probably have a deck, maybe not this specific one, when the rotation hits, to where Gwen is powerful and something that you can be out there and running with. And so it's pretty strong in that sense. But is it something that I would want to take in a best of 3 kind of tournament if you're playing in a grassroots events or something? And that's where I land at kind of maybe. I've really kind of found in this format to where I didn't want to be bringing 3 of a very similar deck. And this is something that fits into that theme, as to where if I want to play like elites and a Legion Rearguard deck, and then a third deck that's kind of aggressive but not within the exact same play patterns as those other decks, then you could probably fit this deck in and have it work pretty well there. But it's not something I think I would want to really be the cornerstone of my lineup, because it does get dumpstered on by AoE removal. And so it is a little weak to the likes of the PNZ based control decks. But otherwise, pretty reasonable stuff. You can most certainly use this to climb up to Masters or do well with in Masters. It's got all the tools it needs to be a successful deck. And so, good set of games. I had fun. I hope you did too, because that is going to do it for us today. And so, hope everyone enjoyed the video. Hope you maybe learned a thing or two along the way. Had a good time watching. So this is Bust, and we thank you for being here.